Welcome to crocodilemtg. Hello everyone and welcome back to match number 5. We are currently 3-1 in a modern friendly league with Mono Red Phoenix. This hand is decent. I'm going to keep it. Hopefully we can get a turn 2 Arclight Phoenix into play. Alright, our opponent begins with Thoughtseize. I have a feeling this is probably Death Shadow, and I feel like they're going to take our Faithless Looting here. Alright, they're going to take our Tormenting Voice, which is a little surprising for me. Alright, I'm going to play out... Yeah, I'll probably just start with this Swift Spear. I'll get aggressive, just in case they're not Death Shadow, though I feel like they are. And next turn I can Manamorphose into Faithless Looting into, hopefully, something else and get this Phoenix onto the battlefield. Alright, so they're just going to pass the turn. I'm assuming they have a removal spell. Probably a bolt on our Swift Spear. Huh. Alright, that was clever of them. I'm going to let them play their Death Shadow here. Unless they Fatal Push? That's surprising. If they are Death Shadow here, I would have let myself take the 2 damage and then played a Death Shadow. And then Faithful... Like, he still could have Fatal Push that turn. I would just take the 2 damage, go down to 11, and then Fatal Push. But that being said, I am not my opponent. Alright, so I'm just going to play up these Soul Scour Mages. And pass the turn. Next turn I'm going to Faithless Looting into hopefully something good. Hopefully our opponent just doesn't go off this turn. Alright, they're going to take our Faithless Looting here. I'm assuming. Up to 4 for the Death Shadow player. I mean, we could just win here, is the thing. I don't know what he has in hand. Gurmag? I feel like it's a Gurmag. Alright, so we're just going to play out this Phoenix. Our opponent has 1 card in hand. We're going to hit them down to 6, because if we find a Lightning Bolt next turn, we can just win. Alright, so our opponent has a Bauble. They're looking at, I believe they looked at the top card of our library. They're swinging in for 13. I'm just going to take it, I think. Alright, so they don't have the kill. Alright, so they're going to draw a card. So we can still have the kill here. We just need to find really anything off the top that we can actually cast. That's rough. That didn't work out in our favor. Alright, so we have to hold both of them back. So no, not going to do any of that. Death Shadow might have gotten the game here. I mean, if our opponent goes down to 3 here, they might have a fatal. That doesn't explain why they'd be. Maybe Liliana the Veil? Snapcaster. Targeting Fatal Push. Alright, I'll let him cast it and then I'll concede. Or I'll let him move to attacks, I guess. Alright. And now we'll concede. Yeah, we just didn't have it there. So now what are we bringing in? Blood Moon's probably not necessary. I could see bringing in the Surgicals. And I can also see bringing in the Hasters. Surgicals are there to slow down a Gurmag Angler as well as remove some key cards in this matchup that we don't want them to have. They don't really have Graveyard Hate. I mean, they probably have their own surgical extractions. I think our goal is to just be faster than our opponent and hit them harder. So that being said, I don't think I want... I mean, the mages just end up being chump blockers. But they are turn 1 attackers. I mean, turn 1, turn 2 attackers. Maximum Velocity. That's an okay card in the matchup. I feel like I'm obligated to bring in a couple Blood Moons. Just because if I don't, they... What do I cut here? Fiery Temper is okay. Maybe a Gut Shot because I'm bringing in the Surgicals. Maybe it is just a Desperate Ritual. Alright, I would like to play first. I will keep this hand. I actually want to lead on Soul Scour Mage here, and the reason for that is because these lightning bolts, as it goes later in the game, just end up being better because I can use them on their Death Shadows and Gurmag Anglers and weaken their creatures. So they're probably going to lead with a Faithless Looting here. Not Faithless Looting, Thought Seize. And they lead on a Serum Visions. So if I draw a land, what I'm going to do is play Monastery Swiftspear and Lightning Bolt, most likely. Hit them for 7, put them at 10. Alright, that's what I'm going to do. Because I think our hand's just so aggressive, we just want to keep pressure on them. And next turn we can play Faithless Looting into Fiery Temper, possibly into Lightning Bolt as well. And if we find any Phoenixes, we might just win. So it looks like a cycled Street Wraith. I'm assuming he's going to play a Shadow here. Oh, Fatal Push, okay. If we draw a land, which we don't, I think I'm going to start with this Faithless Looting. I think we just win here, in all honesty. Yeah, we don't. Alright, so Fiery Temper. I'm going to cast Fiery Temper here. Our opponent's going to go to 2. And then has to produce a blocker of some sort, as well as a counter spell. So he's going down to 1. Not ideal for our opponent here. Alright, they start with the Serum Vision. Alright, and we win we win game number 2. So now going into game number 3, I think we go in with a similar game plan. These Revelers get a little worse. Surgical might be a little more important. Maybe it's just the Blood Moon though. I think just being able to cast our spells is more important. Alright, down to the final match of the round. This hand is decent. Our opponent is most likely going to start with a Thoughtseize, and they don't. They start with the Serum Visions again. So my question is, can I turn 1 an Arclight Phoenix? Because I have Surgical in hand. The answer is no. I can turn 2 a Phoenix though, and I think I'd rather do that. So we'll see what our opponent plays here. Thought Scour on themselves. So if they Thought Scour, if they fetch, okay, they don't need to. Alright, so I think I want to hit this Gurmag Angler from our opponent. I'm assuming with the Thought Scour that's what they were trying to play. Alright, let's not mess this up. Alright, it looks like they're going to play a Death Shadow. Alright, so I got the 4 Gurmag Angler. They're going to play Death Shadow here. They have Surgical, which is good to know about. What was their hand? Sorry, guys. Surgical, Shadow, Snap. They had one other card that I'm not sure about. Question is, what do I discard? I guess I'll start with this Faithless Looting. Alright, there's another Surgical. I think I discard these and burn our opponent some. I wish I knew what that other card our opponent had was. I should have written it down. Was it a Serum Visions? I mean, it had to have been either the Serum Visions or the Swamp. Alright, so our opponent's going to play a Shadow here, which is currently a 5/5. Alright, so we're gonna pass here. We don't really have too many good plays. I'm gonna bring up the game log. What did our opponent do with that Serum Visions? 2 on bottom. Alright, we'll take 5 here. Alright, we're gonna attempt to play this Blood Moon. We'll see if our opponent baits it. So our opponent goes down to... Our opponent can't get an island here, which is good. Maybe Snapcaster. 6, 7, 8 into what? Thought Scour. That's fine. We don't have the best hand at the moment. Our opponent's going to go down to 5. They probably take this Lightning Bolt, to be honest. If they have a Lightning Bolt, we just lose. They take the Bedlam Reveler. So here's the thing, I can force them to use the Serum Visions or die. Right, because now I Surgical Extract their Fatal Push. And now we get Arclight back. And there's just nothing they can do. Alright, good game. We went 4-1 today. Thank you so much for watching. Please go hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed today's video.